Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. It appears that we have quickly moved back into alt season. Bitcoin is holding 20-week SMA so far. If we go look at it, you can see that Bitcoin is still above the 20-week SMA. Business as usual. Business as usual. I'm going to post this in a few different places so that people know we're doing this. All right, so the key thing, so let me go back. The key thing that we need to remember, okay? Key. Altcoins will likely do well as long as Bitcoin stays above the 20-week SMA, okay? That is key. If you forget that, then that's on you. That's on you. Now, as long as Bitcoin has weekly closes above the 20-week, then there's a high probability that altcoins can continue to do well. Now, anytime Bitcoin pulls back some, altcoins can have a quick reaction, a knee-jerk reaction to that pullback by Bitcoin. But as long as Bitcoin stays up here, it's just business as usual, and you get things like this. I mean, a $2.14, what is this? A $2.14 ADA. So, ADA, since we started talking about it on this channel, we started talking about it around 2 cents. So we've watched it go from, literally we've watched ADA go from 2 cents to now it's at 2.14. So, a modest 100x. Leave a note in the chat if you got yourself some ADA at 2 cents, 3 cents, or 4 cents. Let's say below 10 cents. If you're getting it below 10 cents, you're certainly ahead of the game. But even if you were buying it at $1, even if you were taking that risk, and we said, hey, when it comes to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT, you could argue that they're too risky not to hold. And so establishing a position in those cryptocurrencies, regardless of where we are in the cycle, is not necessarily a bad idea, just to get the exposure. And then you sort of hope the prices go down so that you can load back up even more. But if they don't, then the idea is, well, hey, at least you pick some up. So congrats everyone. I mean, I know everyone's really happy right now. 8 is above $2. It's been a long time coming. Now, the question is where will ADA establish new stablecoin status? So ADA is probably one of the best kept secrets in terms of the joke of why does it never do anything. But you'll recognize that it likes to go in these phases where it goes sideways for a few months. And these phases are relatively nice because it's sort of an indication that we're in an accumulation phase, right? An accumulation phase, a reaccumulation phase. Okay, we even called this one the reaccumulation phase of a lifetime for ADA. So accumulation, reaccumulation. The nice thing about moving sideways for 2 months is that it's a great indicator that it's not the top or even a local top, right? We discussed that. There's a good chance this is just an accumulation phase because we're just moving sideways. It seems like we're accumulating or reaccumulating, and that the buying pressure above $1 is actually fairly attractive and fairly impressive as well. So ADA's looking really good I mean, it's looking great. Remember, if you want to earn interest on your ADA, check out the ITC stake pool. We have almost $50 million worth of ADA staked in that pool. So the pool is growing relatively quickly. We have about $50 million worth of ADA earning interest in the pool. Make sure you guys go check it out. Now let's run through some altcoins, and we're going to go through some of your suggestions as well. Maybe some we've never talked about on the channel. I know a lot of you guys are super, you're going crazy on some of these other coins, and I don't know what you guys are I don't know what you guys are smoking on some of these coins, but we'll check them out. Anyways, let's go check. But first I want to go check. I actually want to go check ADA Bitcoin, because we identified that ADA Bitcoin looks pretty bullish, and we talked about that a few weeks ago down here. We said ADA Bitcoin, look, hey, we don't need the request yet. Let's pull back on the requests. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's get through the ones I want to talk about, and then we'll get to the other ones. Anyways, we said ADA Bitcoin looks relatively bullish. Let's pull up our bull market support band. By the way, if you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's go for 400,000 subscribers. If you want to see a $3 ADA, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, click the bell icon to turn on your notifications. Now, where is ADA today? ADA Bitcoin. We have moved past our local top from April of 2018. Now, the highest valuation that ADA has ever been against Bitcoin is over here. And if we take a measured move from the current prices to that level, it's another 105%. So a 105% move by ADA against Bitcoin would be not the local top, that would be the historical global top. Now, we know the price of Bitcoin is not invariant, right? We know that. We can take that to the bank, right? There's not many things we can take to the bank. The price of Bitcoin is not invariant is one of them. We can take that to the bank. So if we can take that to the bank, then we know that this dubious speculation we're about to do is nothing more than dubious. So with the idea that ADA can go up 105% in terms of reaching its global top against Bitcoin for an invariant Bitcoin, where would that put ADA? Well, it would actually put it at a modest, at a very, very humble, where is this? $4. I can't draw on the weekly time frame. It would put it at $4.35. Okay? That is where ADA could go for an invariant Bitcoin and go to the same level that it's been against Bitcoin in the past. Again, we're not saying it's going to go there by any means. Not saying that. We would never say that. We're just saying, hey, it's done it before, and arguably ADA has, I mean, it's got a lot more going for it today than it did back in 2017, 2018. So if it was possible back then when ADA really shouldn't have been valued at those levels. I mean, let's be honest, right? I'm very bullish on ADA this cycle. But back over here, I told you guys over here when we were in this accumulation phase that ADA had no business being up here last market cycle. No business at all. But this cycle's different. I think this cycle's different. And so I think that, I'm certainly not going to say that we're going to go to that level in the immediate short term. But just know that could happen, and we still wouldn't be doing anything new. Like, we still would just be more or less humdrum, par for the course, same old thing. Okay, that would be going up, not there. Now, let's take it a step further and go look at ADA Ether. Okay, this one's going to be interesting. This one's interesting. Okay, this is one to look out for, because right now, we are at the prior local tops, okay? And we've only passed this level twice. We passed it over here, and we passed it a few months ago. So we certainly could go back above it. This is an area to keep an eye out for, okay? Because everyone's super bullish on ADA. Hey, we're still not even back up to the Ethereum valuation that we had back in February. And to get back to that valuation, for ADA to get back to that valuation, ADA would need to go up 92%, 92% against Ethereum, and assuming Ethereum stays constant, 92% would put ADA at, let's see, 92%. It would put ADA at $4. So instead of $4.35, it would put it at $4 in that scenario. Okay, so not a huge difference between the ADA Ether valuation theoretical limits based on historical moves. Not to say we can't break them. $4 based on the ADA Ether valuation that we just went to a few months ago. That's where ADA could go, and it's not doing anything really out of the ordinary, which is kind of impressive. And the reason is because, well, Ethereum's gone up a lot, Bitcoin's gone up a lot. Therefore, the valuation of ADA against those assets can be a lot higher. So remember, check out the ITC stake pool if you want to earn interest on your ADA. We did just make some new T-shirts, so if you guys want to check those out, they're these ones. What's a few trillion among friends? If you click on it here, you can see it. What's a few trillion among friends? There's 4 of them. There's it's in black and blue, and then there's the one for the women as well. So check that out, store.intothecryptoverse.com if you guys are looking to get a What's a Few Trillion Among Friends t-shirt. Sorry, I'm just trying to read the chat a little bit. Oh yeah, we also do have the premium list if you guys want to know how I'm navigating these markets and whatnot. We have a sale on that. I'll post that in the description below as well. So from here, we're gonna do our rounds. Okay, we're gonna do our rounds. So we looked at Bitcoin. We know what Bitcoin needs to do. It needs to hold the line. It needs to hold the line. If you see it not holding the line on the weekly time frame, you probably should know what that likely means. Again, there's no guarantees in anything, but you probably would know what it likely means if it doesn't hold the line, okay? As long as we're up here, probably alt season, right? Probably alt season. If we're down here, alts are bleeding. If we're up here, alts are probably doing okay against the US dollar, but they're probably bleeding against Bitcoin. Those are the 3 scenarios. Make sure you understand all 3 scenarios and how it would affect your portfolio. And by understanding how it would affect your portfolio, you can tailor your portfolio to make sure that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. Okay, that's the purpose. No one knows exactly what's going to happen. We try to look at the various scenarios so that you can prepare for whatever you think is going to happen, or prepare in a way so that no matter what happens, you're doing okay and you're understanding the risks involved. That's the key thing. So that's Bitcoin. By the way, note that we did not break that regression band on, we still haven't broken it, and we tested it for quite a long time, right? We tested it for quite a long time, and we still have not broken it. We also still, despite the fact that it looked like we were going to, we never put in, not once, we never put in a weekly close in the upper logarithmic regression band. Not one weekly close in it. Not one. We had wicks. We had a wick here. We had a wick here. A third wick. Maybe a fourth wick and a fifth wick. Not one weekly close in the regression band. Okay, not one. So it was rejected every single time on the weekly time frame. So that's Bitcoin. Hey guys, Ethereum is just doing what we said it was going to do. Okay, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just doing. We told you guys the Ethereum tsunami was coming, to prepare for it, to not fall for the for the FUD and whatnot about Ethereum. That it was definitively coming. And again, the question with Ethereum was not how, it was not if the tsunami will come. It's more so how far inland is it going to go, okay? And we have 2K, we blasted past that. We have 3K, we quite easily conquered that one. We have 4K, we're currently more or less battling off and on with that one. And obviously there's 5K, and 6K, and so on and so forth. So these are the levels. And the understanding that I tried to tell you guys was not if it's coming, it's just a matter of how far inland are we going to go before we come back and recede at some point, and then sort of gather ourselves and hopefully continue higher at that point. So that's the Ethereum tsunami. You're currently witnessing it. So you heard me talk about it for 3 or 4 months on the channel. A lot of people doubted it. Here we are. Not a lot of people doubting it anymore. If you look at the dominance, or the market cap of Ethereum divided by the market cap of Bitcoin, we're at 51%. We were at 18% in late March. The market cap valuation of Ethereum relative to Bitcoin has moved up 179%, because it started all the way down at 18%, but it's moved up from 18% to 51% since late March. So about a month and a half, maybe a little bit over a month and a half, we've moved up that much. Okay. Now I can assure you, I'm not saying that the flipping is going to happen. I'm not saying that, but I told you guys that it's going to get a lot closer than it was, and it's going to become more and more of a discussion as this continues to inch forward, and as it continues to move up. I mean, if Ethereum were $8,000 right now, it would be basically tied with Bitcoin. It'd basically be tied with Bitcoin in terms of its market capitalization. So keep that in mind. Just keep it in mind. I'm not saying we're going to have a sustained flippening. I'm not even saying we're going to have a flippening. I'm just saying that it's going to be my guess is it's going to be in the news and whatnot. It's going to be everywhere, and it's going to be a discussion topic. Okay, it's going to be a discussion topic during this cycle. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm not saying it's not either. So let's just keep an eye out for that discussion topic as it continues to make that move. Link. We did this video earlier. We said, hey, all right, guys, either Bitcoin falls below the 20-week and we go up later on against Bitcoin, or Bitcoin holds the 20-week and Link immediately goes up. So far, Bitcoin's holding the 20-week. So far, Link's looking pretty good. It's around $47. Business as usual there. If we look at the Link USD valuation, by the way, if you guys like the content, remember to subscribe to the channel. Let's go for 400,000 subscribers. Definitely hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, click the bell icon to turn on your notifications. Link USD standing the test of time since 2017. I love Link. I mean, it just moves up. Okay, over the macro scale, it tends to move up. Yes, it goes down sometimes. Who really cares? That's just the game. It generally goes up, and that's what's important. Don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of the fact that Chainlink generally moves up. It does come down sometimes, right? We know that. By the way, I mean, on this channel back in August of 2020, I was saying, hey, I'm selling right here. And I rebought it over here. And this was all on the channel, I mean, on the premium list mainly, but we even put some of it on the channel as well. So Link USD looks relatively good. Link Ethereum looks relatively bad. I mean, let's just be honest. We're not going to sugarcoat it. It looks bad right now. And in order for us to get back above the Link Ethereum 20-week SMA, Link needs to move up about 35% against Ethereum. Now, if Ethereum were to stay constant, for Link to just get back to the 20-week SMA of Ethereum this week, it would need to move up to $62. That gives you an idea of how of how far down it has fallen against Ethereum, because it's been bleeding like crazy for months and months and months. It's actually down 75% against Ethereum over the last not quite a year, but 280 days or so, down 75%. I mean, it's somewhat cherry picking, of course. If you go, say, let's go to here and you take a measured move, and you can see, well, Link's still up 2,700, 2,800% over the last 1,064 days. So Link is still doing relatively well, but it has been bleeding against Ethereum over the last 8 or 9 months or so. Something to keep in mind. Hopefully we get above it. Obviously, Link USD looks relatively good. Link Bitcoin looks relatively good. And again, we made the comparison to the mean, the reversion to the mean of Link Ether as well. And hopefully what I'm hoping is we get some type of bounce soon, and Link stabilizes against Ether, and maybe a pretty strong bounce of that. Maybe a pretty strong bounce where it really pushes back up against Ethereum, and we get a surge of the valuation of Chainlink. So that covers Bitcoin, covers Ethereum, covers Link, it covers ADA. DOT. Let's talk about DOT. So DOT is now at around $49, and it is flirting with price discovery mode. Okay, it's flirting with price discovery mode. So what we want to see DOT break out and make its next leg up, getting back on the DOT train. Okay, we fell off the DOT train. We have fallen off of it for a while. The DOT train basically being just a continued hold of that 20-day SMA. We've been off the rails for a while. Hopefully we get back on course. We've come up to this level. This would be like our third time more or less coming up to the $50 mark. Let's see if we can break it, because if we break it, I'm guessing it moves relatively quickly. Okay, if DOT breaks it, I'm guessing we move relatively quickly above $50. If it can get above 50, hopefully $60 here we come in the not so distant future, and then we start discussing, oh, the reaccumulation phase of DOT looks pretty nice when once it's up in this area. Okay, once it's up in this area, we're gonna look back and say, all right, this looks pretty nice. But anyways, DOT Bitcoin, looks good to me, right? It's doing basically what we wanted it to do, a bounce off this level. So we said, okay, it's probably going to come back down and bounce. It did. We got excited, said, all right, this is it. Just kidding, right? Just kidding. We came back down, double bounce. Then we came up, okay? So I think DOT Bitcoin looks great. I think Link Bitcoin looks great. ADA Bitcoin looks good. ADA Ether is sort of teetering on the level that if it goes above it, probably just pure mania on ADA for a while if it goes above it. Link Ethereum still looks pretty bearish. DOT Ethereum, that's an interesting one. My guess is it looks pretty bearish, and it does. And you can see that it had a wick down to this level. Not quite all the way down so far, but so far it has pulled back up. So DOT Ether is still relatively bearish, being significantly below the 20-week SMA. But anyways, remember, if you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe. Also, check out the new t-shirts, What's a Few Trillion Among Friends. You guys can check those out. This is the women's version. This is the men's. There's both colors for both. Check those out. store.intothethe.com if you're looking for that. Remember, we also have the sale, the bull market sale on the premium list. If you want to know how I'm navigating these markets, check that out. And you can lock in the lower rate. You get access to a whole lot of stuff. Actually, we're going to put a new video on the website tomorrow that actually gives a better, if you're curious what's on the premium list, we're going to upload a new video tomorrow that gives a little bit more insight into what it is. I actually rewatched the video I've had on there for the first time since I put it up, and I was like, oh my god, it sounds awful. Just because I recorded it 15 months ago when I had 3,000 subscribers or something. the times have changed, right? The times have changed. All right, let's keep an eye on ADA here. Let's keep an eye on ADA. Let's delete some of this nonsense we have going on the chart. We're at 217. Remember, if you guys want to go stake your ADA with the ITC stake pool, we have about $50 million worth of ADA. We actually do have about 50 million now that it's at 217. We have about $50 million worth of ADA in the stake pool. All right, so I promised you guys that I would talk about some other coins. So what coins do you guys want to talk about? Yeah, we can talk about VeChain. I saw VeChain. I do like VeChain. Okay, I do like VeChain. And so we'll take a look at it. The VeChain Ether valuation looks like it's back in this area. It's actually interesting because it's sort of in the same type of valuation that ADA is against Ether, this local top, right? This local top. And now you might understand why a lot of times I don't talk about that many altcoins, because like I could trade ADA against Ether, or I could trade VeChain against Ether, and I do have a VeChain position. So I do have a VeChain position, but the reason why I don't talk about both is because they trade very similarly to Ethereum. Look at the VeChain Ether chart, okay? Look at that, and then come look at the ADA Ether chart and see the similarities here. Okay, look at the similarities. And this is why you don't necessarily need 1,000 different coins in your portfolio. Just get a few that sort of have those same patterns. And that's why I have Link. Link is a good trade against Bitcoin. Link to Bitcoin, Bitcoin back to Link. Link is a really good trade against Bitcoin. If you remember the Link Bitcoin valuation, we'll just quickly pull that up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Link's a really good trade against Bitcoin because it has all these local little bubble bunny hills against Bitcoin. Sometimes it goes up a little bit higher, representing a crazy opportunity. So that's why I like Link and Bitcoin, and then ADA and Ether, and then I also do have some VeChain. But you can see that VeChain right now is at the same local tops over here, similar to ADA against Ether, the same prior local tops, and they both went past these local tops over the last few months. You can see that ADA went above it here and VeChain went above it here. So fairly similar. We can look at the VeChain USD valuation. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Let's look at the bull market support band on VeChain Ether. I mean, we're still doing okay. But this is not exactly the same type of breakout that some of the other coins are experiencing right now. This has been moving sideways, not nearly as long as it has for ADA, I believe, only since mid-April. So it hasn't been moving sideways nearly as long as ADA has, because ADA started moving sideways a long time ago. I mean, relatively speaking, the week of mid-February. Okay, 84 days. And now you can see that ADA is having a very decisive breakout here after finally leaving stablecoin status for the last 2 or 3 months. So, yeah, I mean, VeChain looks okay. I think ADA looks better. I think ADA looks better at the moment. And let's not sleep on this. Dot's approaching 50. Okay, Dot is approaching 50. And so it might be interesting to keep our eyes on that. Why don't we switch this over? We'll keep an eye on ADA too, but we're certainly not going to sleep on Dot here. Okay, we're certainly not. 49.51. Let's draw the line in the sand at $50. This would, I feel like, take us really into price discovery mode. There's our line in the sand. Okay, our line in the sand. We'll see if we make it there. We can even put a little house up here if you guys want, and see if we can make that house a home. Right? We always want to make those houses a home. I don't know why the garage is bigger than the house. Maybe there's some type of Lamborghini in here. I don't really know. I can't draw cars that well. I mean, I just drive a 2007 Chevy, so. There are flashy Lamborghinis, and I guess we're going to store it in that house. So currently we're at 49.57, which is this, I'm trying to remember, what is the all-time high? exactly. Are we past it already? I think we're past it. Yeah, DOT's at a new all-time high. But yeah, I mean, I know some of you guys like scheduling your Forbes interviews immediately, right? You see a new all-time high and you schedule the Forbes interviews. Let's be a little bit conservative and say $50. We're not getting out of bed for a $49 link when it's previously hit 48 something. Okay, let's get above $50 and then we can start to talk about some other things. We're not there yet, so let's hold off on the Forbes interviews for now. All right, what other? No, I'm not a car guy. I'm really not. I drive a car that's like 14 years old. So I'm not a car guy. Yeah, it looks like the Cybertruck. Yeah, it looks like more like the Cybertruck. Talk about KSM. Yeah, we'll talk about it. I like so this is the test net for Polkadot. This one has been relatively bullish. And what's interesting is maybe to actually look at this valuation against DOT. Okay, that might be an interesting, and we've talked about this some before as well, that these assets might be interesting to compare to one another, DOT versus Kusama. So I mean, against it's moving up right now relative. Well, it was moving up, but over the last 2 days, it's been coming down as DOT is starting to make its own move. So I don't really feel like we have a ton of information yet on it. But it looks like, like over the last couple of days, DOT is making a little bit of a surge because the KSM DOT valuation has dropped by about 13% over the last 3 days or so. So that'd be something to keep in mind here as we continue to navigate it. But yeah, I mean, this one certainly this one it's not been a bad choice, right? I think we've only talked about it like once on the channel. It certainly has not been a bad choice, and you can see that it's like many altcoins, it's generally moving up. There was a sort of a local top here where we bled 51%, but since then we put in new all-time highs, and it looks like even this week it's been putting in new all-time highs just above $600. Yeah, I know you guys like Aave, so we'll pull it up. I don't own this one. I mean, maybe I should, right? Maybe I should, but I don't. So it's currently at 581. This was one that hadn't really done a whole lot. It really hadn't done much since early February, and it's finally doing something. I think what would be interesting would be to look at the Aave ADA valuation to see which one. Yeah, so you can see that Aave, it's actually been bleeding against ADA. So ADA has been slightly outperforming it here. And so I think that's an interest. I think a lot of times we don't look at altcoin valuations, but it is sometimes interesting. It's like when people say Link never does anything and then they promote Litecoin, and I'm like, well, hey, have you ever taken the time to look at the Litecoin Link valuation? I mean, look at this, right? Again, Litecoin, I got to get the Litecoin shot in, right? Litecoin being down against Link from the top here, a modest 99.54% over the last several years, 1,253 days. Litecoin is down 99.54% against Link. If you just go to the candle here because you think I'm cherry picking the wick, it's still down 99%. Litecoin is still down 99% against Link. So don't tell me Link doesn't do anything and then tell me the Litecoin's approaching its all-time high. Again, Link did that in 2019. So let's be a little bit pragmatic on our altcoin valuations. Something interesting is to look at the ADA USD .USD valuation. ADA has been slightly outperforming DOT over the last few months. So let's look at the daily time frame here. So you can see that it's not a huge amount, but it is noticeable that ever so slightly, DOT I should say ADA has been slightly outperforming it, so very, very slightly outperforming it. And so, you know, we'll see how this plays out if DOT actually sort of goes on a surge here and reclaims some of this ground that it's given up over the last few weeks, which it's trying to over the last day, but then today ADA is obviously surging a bit back. You know, if it were to come back down, if the ADA DOT valuation were to come down, say 32% or so, and an ADA stayed constant, then DOT would actually be definitely decisively breaking above $50. But you can see that ADA has been slightly outperforming DOT over the last several months, very, very slightly. Yep, we'll talk about Avalanche. Looks good. I mean, by the way, we are going to be launching sometime. You guys know we have the ADA stake pool. We're going to be launching an Avalanche, the ITC Avalanche stake pool, hopefully here in the next few days. We're testing it on the test net for a few days. Now we're syncing up with mainnet, and so if you want to earn interest on your Avalanche, you will be able to join the ITC stake pool in the next few days, and we'll be locking it up for the tokens will be locked up for me for quite a long time, but for you, you don't have to do it nearly that long. It's just the reason to do it for a long time is so you get the highest interest rate. So anyways, Avalanches, again, it's on the cusp of price discovery mode, kind of like DOT, right? Kind of like DOT. They're all sort of converging. Avalanche is on the cusp of price discovery. DOT is on the cusp of it. Here we go. We're at 49.68. We are slowly approaching our garage, 49.69, 49.70. Let's see if we can make it. So DOT is looking really good, 49.71. Remember, we have a Telegram channel with over 37,000 people. I will not message you first, but if you want to join it, I'll post it in the chat. It's over there in the chat if you guys want to join it. If you guys want to go talk about micro caps, we have Into the Cryptocosm. We have almost 10,000 people on there, so we'll post that one as well. And then finally, if you want to go talk about NFTs, we have Into the NFT verse. And if you want to go talk about that, I'll post that one in the chat as well. Plenty of chat rooms based on what you want to talk about. Just make sure that you keep it clean and we have good discussions in there, because again, we want to keep the chat relatively well moderated. And so we do have a lot of moderators in there making sure that people are respectful and whatnot. All right, we're now at 49.78. So we are approaching our home. Let's see if DOT can decide. I mean, it's already in price discovery mode, but let's not schedule the Forbes interviews just yet. Let's get to $50 and hopefully start moving up relatively quickly. You saw what happened with ADA. When it got to $2, it moved up relatively quickly. We want to see the same thing for DOT, but at $50, and maybe we can watch it go to $55 relatively quickly. Let's see where ADA is. So ADA is still at 215. Yeah, VeChain's not really doing a whole lot right now. So I would say it seems like the action is with ADA. Seems like the action's with Polkadot. Seems like the action might be with Avalanche as it approaches this local top over here. Link is it's doing okay. I mean, again, it hasn't gone into that mania yet, but again, we keep speculating that that's for this summer. Maybe it'll happen before then. But my guess is that it probably puts in a new local top in the summer sometime. Could be June, could be August. I don't know. But that's what I'm at least speculating on. By the way, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Let's go for 400,000 subscribers. Let's see what we're at. I don't even know what we're at anymore. We're currently at 388,000. So make sure you guys subscribe. Let's get Let's get to 400,000 subs. Remember to check out the sale on the premium list if you want to know how I'm navigating these markets and get access to exclusive content, weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the risk dashboard, the Into the Cryptoverse app, and more. We also have a lifetime option for those that would prefer to just sign up for the lifetime. I'll post that in the chat as well. All right. Bitcoin still holding the line at the 20-week SMA. DOT is trying to get to $50, but we're not quite there yet. And ADA is still holding the line at 215. Still holding the line at 215. Remember to go stake your ADA with the ITC stake pool. It looks like the new local top here is around 222 on ADA. Is that, or maybe not quite that high, maybe closer to 219. Maybe closer to 219. Yeah, XRP looks okay. XRP was probably my worst investment, honestly, of 2020. Like I bought it at 53 cents and I bought it at like 36 cents. And yeah, I mean, it's at $1.40 now, but I mean, what hasn't gone up, right? What hasn't gone up 3 or 4x? In fact, if you know, the coins that have only gone up 3 or 4x since then have been underperforming a lot of the market. So yeah, XRP was, I mean, I'm not saying it won't perform well. I do think it will make it to its prior all-time high, but you know, since I bought it, it's been one of the more underperforming coins, I would say. All right, let's. It looks like you guys want to talk about Matic. So what are we at? I've never looked at this coin on the channel before. I will pull up the weekly time frame. Yeah, it's doing relatively well, I guess. I mean, you know it's up a lot relatively quickly when the bull market support band, the 20-week estimate is at 35 cents and it's at $1.67. Maybe we'll check out the RSI here on the weekly time frame and see where it is. Seems like it's probably going to be relatively high. Yes, this one's relatively high at the moment. And if you compare it, let's say compare it to the weekly for ADA and see where ADA is on the weekly in terms of, say, like the weekly RSI. Let's just take a quick look. So ADA is 83. Looks like ADA on the weekly here is generally moving up so far, right? So far, generally moving up. Maybe another push here. This one it's pretty high up here, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't really have any huge speculation on it. I mean, good luck for anyone who's in it. Definitely good luck. Hopefully you make a lot of money on it. I don't own this coin. Let's look at the monthly here. The monthly RSI is at 98. Yeah. All right, let's see where Bitcoin's right at the 20-week SMA. Let's pull up the 20-week SMA here. So the 20-week SMA is at 48.7. We're currently just below it. Remember, we only care about weekly closes. We don't really care about wicks. Okay, we don't really care about wicks. Someone said he sold his Matic at 40 cents. Oof. I mean, at least, you know, you're not going to go broke taking profits at least, right? So you sold some here. At least you're not going to go broke taking profits. One idea, too, is to do dynamic DCA, remember? So, like, if you do sell, you could always sell, like, You know, like you could sell 10% here, you could sell 20% here. That way, if it keeps going up, you maintain the potential upside, and if it keeps going up, maybe you sell like 30%, and then you just keep scaling it so that at some point you know it's going to come back down, but at least you took profits along the way. That's probably one way, probably the best way I can find to navigate these things, is to just DCA out so that you leave yourself the potential upside, but also making sure you don't let a good bubble go to waste. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you like the content, and give the video a thumbs up. Let's see, we've been going for 45 minutes now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this this Friday night. Well, I guess for some of you it's probably Saturday morning. All right, let's check back in. Let's check back in on DOT. It's at 49.36, so we pulled back a little. Hopefully we can make that run at $50. Obviously, ADA is looking pretty strong right now at 216. Uni's looking okay. I mean, Uni's looking okay. It's at $42. You can see it's dropped down to 11th place. It's up 4% on the week. ADA is up 33% on the week, and Polkadot's up 23% on the week. So it's funny, Polkadot's up 23% on the week, but it's also up 22% on the day. So hopefully we can see ADA flip Doge again. Hopefully we can see this ADA flip Doge, and maybe even Binance Coin. I certainly wouldn't mind that. I mean, maybe some of you guys don't want to see that, but I think ADA should be knocked up a couple spots here, back up to number 3. Ether Bitcoin still looks good, 0.0812. Link Bitcoin's continuing to slowly move up, now at 94,000 Satoshis, so we are approaching that 100,000 Satoshi milestone, which is sort of where we capitulated here, back at the 20-week SMA, back in October of 2020 when Bitcoin went on its crazy run. I mean, yeah, guys, I mean, yeah, BNB, Binance Coin, I think that it's, you know, or at least the Binance Smart Chain. I mean, it started off as a clone of Ethereum. I mean, let's first not pretend like it's this amazing technology. It just was like basically a clone of Ethereum with higher gas limits. And I mean, BNB, the Binance Smart Chain, is basically one of the most centralized ones out there. So again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a trade-off. Right, it's a trade-off between decentralization and then creating something like, you know, you guys are enjoying it more than, say, Ethereum, obviously, because the Ethereum gas fees are so high. Ethereum could easily solve the gas fee issue if they raise the gas limits, but if they raise the gas limits, then it makes it so the miners have to have more computational power, and it's going to then limit some from actually running their node, and therefore it becomes more centralized, which Ethereum doesn't want to do. Okay, so the Binance Smart Chain is very centralized, and you know, I mean, it does. I think a lot of these, though, by the Binance Smart Chain, Cardano, Polkadot, Avalanche, Cosmos, all of these different projects, Solana, all of these different projects, I think they're just trying to carve out their own niche in the space. They all probably are going to have their own little niche use cases and communities. So I'm not trying to detract from that, but I don't think any of them are going to overtake Ethereum. Okay. I don't think any of them are going to overtake Ethereum. So I think Ethereum is, basically king of the altcoins. And all of them certainly have their use cases. I think that BNB is it's a good project, right? I don't think it's a bad project. Even when it was at number 10 over a year ago, I said I think it's a good project. It's just, I think that it does trade a lot of the reason this, at least the reason why some people initially get into crypto. The whole decentralization stuff, it really does sacrifice a lot in decentralization. But again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a trade-off. So it's a trade-off between what you want, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so I think I understand why some people prefer it, and we just recognize that there's different trade-offs for different projects. It's basically trade-offs between security and scalability. So. All right, someone says refresh. Did Cardano flip Doge? It looks like it did. So Cardano has now flipped Doge again. We're at 68 billion, 68.5 billion. Doge is at 68.2 billion. So Cardano is continuing to move up the chain here, the blockchain. Binance Coin's at 92.5 billion. So Binance Coin is still, a decent ways, maybe 24 billion or so, 78, 88, yeah, 24 billion or so above where ADA is. Bitcoin is slightly below the 20-week SMA. Remember, it could just be a wick. There's no decisive move down quite yet, but because of this pullback, you're seeing a little bit of hesitancy from the altcoins. So you can see it, right? You're experiencing it. When Bitcoin's below that 20-week and we're kind of like, all right, is it going to hold it? Is it not going to hold it? What's going on? You can see that some altcoins start to show a little bit of hesitation. Thoughts come down over the last few minutes. ADA, I'm guessing, ADA came down over the last few minutes as well, down to 212. Just a few minutes ago, it was up at 218. So obviously Bitcoin pulling back a little, it makes everyone in the altcoin market go, wait, hold on, wait, what's going on? Is it going to drop, or are we okay? So you guys, you're basically experiencing how testy the crypto market is. Make sure you guys subscribe. Definitely hit the subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We'll post it here in the chat if you guys want to join. We have over 37,000 people in there. Remember, I will not message you first. Also, as a reminder, check out the merch store if you want to get these new What's a Few Trillion Among Friends t-shirts. Alright guys, well, I think it was a good stream. We've been going for almost an hour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe for future streams. So we'll be here every step of the way during the market cycle, making sure we kind of understand where we are based on the various implications of the various projects, and we'll be here every step of the way. So again, if you like the content, make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. check out the premium list if you want to know how I'm navigating these markets. But that'll wrap it up for this stream. We're going to keep this one to an hour. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.